Okay, welcome to this video. What we're going to be looking at today is parameters, arguments. Like I said, I want to go on to the next lesson. I want to do a lesson on object-oriented programming, and you really need to understand how parameters work to be able to deal with that. Okay, so what is a parameter? What are we doing here? Okay, so let's do this and call return num_a. Okay, now num_a at the moment is nothing. Okay, but if I put it in here as an argument, that matches it, and that's what we want, and that's fine. Now, how do I get num_a back? Well, what I need to do is just create a, let's put test num as a variable, and I'm going to call it, let's do, and what do I want to do? So because there's one argument in there, I want to put one number in here. Okay, so what I've done is, and you'll see this pattern emerging. Okay, you will see a pattern as we go through this. Test number equals my function, and then there's an argument here. We can call that whatever you want, and I put 8 in there. So how do we get it out? So we need to print test number. And that. Check for errors, nothing. So an 8 comes out. Okay, so 23. Oh, 23 in there. Run it. 23 comes out. So whatever I put in there comes back. Okay. Well, what's the purpose of that? Well, let's take a look. So imagine we had, I'll say a bunch of homework. So how do we work at a rectangle? Well, we know we need two things, don't we? So we need side A and we need side B. Now, let's make up, let's call it area, because that's what it'll be, side A times side B. And that's the sum we're going to do. So these are like little calculators, if you want, specialized for yourself. So let's say we had 10 rectangle problems to sort out. Instead of writing 10 of these, copying 10 times, what we can do is just do it once, do the formula that we want, and we can insert parameters or arguments. Okay, so we're going to return the area, and you should see a pattern emerging here. And then what we can do is, let's say, let's call it area. Total, I'll do, what does it equal? Well, my rectangle and then because I've got two arguments here, I need to put two arguments in. So if it was 3 by 8, that will now be passed into these two arguments. It will then take them and do the sum, and it will return it back. And I need to print check for errors. Error, and it's good that an error comes out. Rectangle is not defined. Define rectangle. What have I done wrong here? Side A, side B. Area total. Oh, look what I did. I spelled rectangle wrong, see? And these are errors that you get all the time, so great that we can see it. It's really worthwhile when these come up, reading them and checking, where the error is. That's what these are for. Some give you the line number, some don't. This one doesn't, but some give you the line number. But this is an art in itself, is actually checking your errors. Okay, so rectangle there. Run that again. And there you go. So now instead of doing let's say we had 10 sums, I can just now change these. Okay, so 6 by 9. Run it again, and you can see you're going to get the correct answer here. Okay, so the purpose of these parameters or arguments, it makes life a lot easier for us. We can just write something once. And notice the pattern: number, rectangle, argument. Okay, once you do a few of these, you start getting into it. Let's do, let's do 1 cubed. And what are we going to do? Let's do length And what do we need to do? Let's say volume equals length. So there's that sorted out, and then we need to return the volume. It's the pattern. Let's say total volume equals, what does it equal? Let's have a look here, cubed, and then how many arguments do we need? We need 3, so let's say 2, 3, 4. And then finally, print that total volume. Now you should see this pattern emerging, okay? Where I'm just assigning a variable to the function I'm using and then entering the parentheses, the arguments or the parameters. Okay. From that, errors? No errors this time. 2 times 3 is 6, 4 6s are 24, correct, okay. Let's just check. Last one there, 2 6. Yes, okay, so that's working, okay? And that's how you do that, very simply. Let's do one which isn't, let's call one string, because we've used, let's say, color 1 and color 2. Okay, so what are we doing? Same stuff. Let's return, what can we do this time? Let's return color 1. Okay, so there you go. We're going to just return that. I'm not going to store it in a variable, I'm just going to straight return it. And so outside of there, now I'll make a, let's call it a sentence equals, what does it equal? We know now from this pattern we've seen emerging that we need 2 things in it. And don't forget data types, red, yellow, okay, print sentence. That's the only errors we get. Doesn't matter. Oh, we got an error. Okay, define a string, color 1. What's here? Oh, didn't put it in my brackets. There you go. Run that again. And there you go. And then let's just that. Make sure it updates. Green. Okay. So that gives you some idea about how parameters work. Okay, we're just feeding in information into these arguments here. If you get one wrong, this is an error I see a lot in the classroom. If that happens, you'll see an error here saying there's missing 1 required. So it's telling you you're missing 1 on the rectangle. So you come into your rectangle, you look here, no, there's 2 there. You look there, you know, yes, I've made one mistake there. Run it again, and there you go. Okay, so that's all well and good. So you've got a challenge here. Write a function. Well, we know a function is going to return something, okay, that returns the sum of bus tickets entered. So if we want to check how many bus tickets, so let's say we're looking for 6 adults and 3 children, that it'll just return it back to us, okay? So if you pause the video now and you can have a go at it, and I'll just write it and work it out. See if you can do it without my help. Okay, so let's say def, let's call it bus ticket. What do we want in there? Well, we know we want 2, so let's put, let's just put adult and child in. Let's say adult, yes it does. Okay, so we want an adult and child. So what do we need to do here? Well, let's say total again, equals, so let's say adult. How much is an adult ticket? It is 580. So let's say 580. And what we're going to do is plus child. There's other ways to do this, as you know. Let's say this is just the way I'm doing it. So that's the total, adult plus child times 50. Yeah, that should work. And just in case, I don't think we need to round the price. I will round the price just in case anyway. We've done this before look, I would have got an error here with using built-in functions. Let me say round price anyway. I don't think I need it just because of it's 80 and 50. That's going to be fine. But just in case we change these, I'm going to round the price. So I'm going to round that price. And what do I want to round? I want to round the total. And how much to do the 2 decimal points will do. Okay. And then all I need to do is return, because it's a function I asked for. Okay, here. I want to return round price because that now holds the total rounded. So round price. And that's it. Then as the pattern up above, let's say, let's call it total price. What does it equal? What are we looking at here? Well, we're looking at tickets, aren't we? And actually, I can just return, let's do a total price equals round price for a second. No, let's not do that. Let me do tickets. Because I've actually fed in there, I've actually put in the price. So, yeah, but I want to see, actually, I wanted to see how many, didn't I? Yeah, so if we call for 6 tickets for adults and 3 tickets for children, okay, we'll do that. So let's do, let's say 2 of each. And let's then print total price. I wanted to find that it returns the sum of bus tickets ended, yeah, okay. Let's run that and see what happens. £18.50, is that right? So 10, that's 11.60. That sounds right to me. That's 7. Yeah, that's correct. That works. 10, 11.60 plus 7, yeah, is 18.60. That's correct. And then, so say we wanted 4 adult tickets and 2 children, £30. That's correct. That's working. Okay. So I hope that's giving you some information or some understanding on how parameters work. And in the next lesson, we will look at object-oriented programming, where parameters are used and variables are passed through functions and procedures in an easier way. And I'll see you next lesson.